Welcome to our surprise call for this month. For those of you that are new to the group, welcome. I am Shilamita. That's a sign. My birthday is March 19th. Whose birthday? Oh, you, Janine? Wow. Okay, so Saturday is Bennett's 10th birthday. The 20th is Mikey's 18th birthday, and the 24th is Ben's 60th birthday. What a freaking month I've got going on here, right? And now the 18th, the book is launching. And yeah, it's quite the month. So we're going to do it together in gratitude. I love it. So I have invited for you this evening, Nicole. For those of you that don't know, Nicole has been a part of my life since 2020. We met right before COVID. Nicole was going to be a part of my office team at my wellness center. We did a whole branding shoot. Nicole, I should whip out those pictures. Go back in time. And
You should.
as soon as I got the itch to start traveling, I called Nicole and said, hey, want to go on the road and do some retreats. So if you are in New Jersey or close to New Jersey, I highly recommend going to Nicole's office. But today she is going to do a little program for us on You Are Enough is what she called it. So I'm going to introduce Nicole. And Nicole, I'm going to just make you the host because I have to hop off at 7:30. So in case you go over so that we don't lose this. But how do I do that?
Okay.
Let's see.
Are you expecting more people on the call, Jill, or you're not sure?
There's over 20 people in the group, so anybody could hop on it anytime, but say you're probably good at this point. Does anybody know how do I turn over the host? There's a button that says host tools.
Well, what will happen if you don't? Then you can't leave.
Can you click her three buttons in the top corner of her picture and say like,
Oh, you're so good, Katie. You're so good. You're the host now. Perfect. Okay, Nicole, that was yours. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for asking me. So, welcome for those of you who do not know me. Like Jill said, my name is Nicole. I live in Emerson, New Jersey, for those of you who are familiar with this little town in New Jersey. I am married with 3 teenagers. I have my oldest son who's 19 and he's in college. I have a daughter who's a senior who is just committed and is going to college. And then I have a sophomore. So I have at least 2 more years before I have all 3 of them in college. So it's been quite an adventure. Just to tell you a little bit about my health background, I'm an occupational therapist. I've been an OT for over 20 years now. I actually started in psychiatry as an OT, and I worked in psych for 8 years in a inpatient psychiatric unit. And I loved everything about it. And where people might shy away from that, mental health really meant a lot to me. It always did. And, I did that for a really long time until I transferred over to what I'm still doing now for probably another 20 years. I've been in the field a long time, but I work at Breast Rehabilitation and Healing Center as an occupational therapist, with people post mastectomy, and also lymphedema. So I got lymphedema certified through my job. And, with that, COVID happened, and I knew that I just wanted to continue helping people at even a higher level. So I went to school to be a stretch therapist and a yoga therapist. And I don't know if I think yoga therapy happened before COVID, but with yoga therapy, it was kind of very, very broad. I was working with people one-on-one, doing assessments. It wasn't always about asana. Sometimes it was just, meditation or different things that they needed for their mental and spiritual health, right? Because that's a big part of our health, not just the physical part. So, with the stretch therapy, with the lymphatic drainage certificate, and with the yoga therapy, then I had opened up my own place called Balance Throughout, which is in Westwood, right next door to the clinic where I work as an OT. So she made sure, my boss, that I was very, very close, that I would never leave her. So I go back and forth between the two, and it's been really great. So, yeah, so when she'll ask me to do this, I really just kind of wanted to tap into a little bit about the feeling of who we are, right? And how we perceive ourselves. So have you ever felt like no matter what you do, it's never quite enough? Like you're constantly chasing an impossible standard, whether it's with your work, whether it's with your relationships, or even in how you care for yourself. If you ever felt that way, I want you to take like a deep breath. We're going to do a lot of breathing, some breathing tonight, and just hear this, that you are enough, because sometimes we think that we are not. So a quote that I really like by Brene Brown, she once said, "You are imperfect. You are wired for struggle, but you are worthy you are worthy of love and belonging." So I really, really, love that quote. And I wanted to talk a little bit because of, what I do, which is give people self-care, right? So everybody who comes to me is, pretty much takes care of themselves. So I want to talk a little bit about self-care. And self-care isn't just about what we do. It's about how we see ourselves. It's about recognizing that we are enough, not because of what we achieve, but simply because we exist, right? So sometimes it's kind of hard to make those connections. So I want to reflect on what it truly means to care for ourselves, not as a reward for being good enough, but because we already are, right? So a lot of the times we feel like, we have to reward ourselves. And, it's nice to think of doing self-care as a reward, but it's not a reward for who I am. It's just because that's something that, we all need and enjoy. So self-care isn't just about bubble baths, not about spa days. It's about how we treat ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically. It's about accepting who we are and showing ourselves kindness and recognition. And that we are worthy, and it isn't measured by how much we do or how perfectly we perform, right? Today, I want to share with you some key pillars of self-care that will help you not just survive, but truly thrive, because we are enough just the way that we are. So feel free to take notes, but it's, I'm going to go into the pillars. So, if you can't write fast enough, and I really don't want you to, just reach out to me and I can send you if you're interested. Okay. So the first pillar is about self-acceptance, embracing who we are without comparison. So just not comparing yourself to other people. Let go of perfectionism and self-doubt. So I don't know if anybody deals with that, but I'm sure that has come into your mind, at times, right? Recognizing that your worth isn't tied to your achievements. So it's not what you do that, that makes you, who you are. You are more than what you do. Which is like, when I get on calls, sometimes I'm always like, this is what I do. And then I forget to like really say who I am and, my family. And, that's really who I am. This is, what I do is what I do. So two separate things. Number two, the second pillar would be mindful compassion, right? So speaking to yourself with kindness, I actually wanted to show you, Shill, that book that you had given out about the affirmations. There was a book that Shill had. It was an affirmation book. So just speaking to yourself, maybe doing some daily affirmation. Shill said mirror work, kind of talking to yourself in a positive way. And sometimes you have to do that every day, right? Because we kind of forget. And then, we have other people kind of in our ear saying different things. So learning to forgive yourself for past mistakes. So that's a really big one if you're still holding on to different things. Accepting that struggles don't define who you are, right? So if you're struggling for something, about something, sometimes, it's harder to let that go. Forgiveness is huge. Yeah. So the third pillar is emotional well-being. Just acknowledge and process your feelings instead of suppressing them. So just noticing what your feelings feel like. And that, sometimes that's a really difficult and, hard thing to recognize, right? How we're feeling. The next one is setting boundaries to protect your peace, right? So if there's something that, you need to set boundaries for, or even goals. Sometimes I write daily goals, and just surrounding yourself with supportive people. So like even just doing this group and being here today, that's a positive thing. And that's something that hopefully, is going to give you that emotional well-being, right? Because it's important to surround yourself with people who can bring you up and not down. So number 4 is physical self-care, right? So prioritizing rest, right? Physical self-care doesn't necessarily mean to spend money. You don't have to go and get that massage all the time, and you don't have to go and, get the facial. I mean, even though it's nice and it looks great, right? There are several different self-care tasks that we can do for ourselves, and definitely prioritizing rest should be one of them. I know that's probably one of my favorite things to do. Shill knows me. So that's definitely something that I put first and foremost, is resting my body, because it's very physical, my job. So I definitely need that. And just movement, overall movement. So if you go to the gym, great. If you don't go to the gym, that's okay too. There's different kinds of things to do. There's days when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I can't go to the gym. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to do this. I don't, and then I'll just stretch. I'll take a couple of minutes. I'll take like 5-10 minutes and just stretch my body. I go down to my yoga mat, and then I spend 5 minutes, and that in itself is like a meditation to me. So and then proper nutrition, right? So that's nothing new that you haven't heard before, but when you make little changes, in whether it's physical, which is the movement piece, or the nutrition piece, it really starts to make a big difference. And that alone is just self-care, right? And then making time for activities that energize and make you feel good. So just doing, could be small things, with your children. If you have young ones, just, coloring with them and doing different things. So those are all, that we don't think about that as self-care. We think about, okay, I need to go get a massage, and I need to, maybe you don't like massages, and it's not for everybody, but, I think that people do think about, how can I I can't really do self-care because I don't have any money to do that, or I don't have time. But everything that I had just mentioned is free. So number 5, the 5th pillar, is purpose and growth. So understanding that growth doesn't mean you're not enough. It means you care about yourself. Which means that personal growth and self-improvement don't come from a place of lack or worthiness. Instead, it comes from self-care and self-respect. Okay. The understanding that you deserve to grow, heal, and evolve. Many people think that wanting to improve means they're not enough as they are, right? So, but in reality, growth isn't about fixing something wrong with you. It's about nurturing yourself because you value who you are, right? So think of like watering a plant. The plant is already complete, right? The plant is alive, and but you're giving it sunlight and you're giving it water, you're helping it thrive, right? So when you invest in growth, whether it's through learning, healing, or self-care, you're not doing it because you're broken. You're doing it because you care about yourself enough to keep evolving, right? So I kind of like that analogy because, when, you have this beautiful, vibrant plant, you're continuing to take care of it. And that's what we have to do for ourselves, right? So, pursue things that bring you joy and fulfillment, celebrate small wins and personal progress. And then number 6, those are the last 2 for number 5. And then number 6 is connection and support. So you don't have to do everything alone. Build meaningful relationships, seek help when needed, and asking support is its actual strength. It's not a sign of weakness. So self-care doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes just 2 minutes of mindfulness can help us reconnect with ourselves. And so I would like to take a moment to do a simple exercise together, and one that you can do anytime if you feel overwhelmed or need a reminder that you are enough. So the first one that we're going to do, and you might have all done this, but it's called, and with being a yoga therapist, I think one of the things that I love doing is breathing, because even though we all breathe, right, and we walk around every day and we don't think about breathing, but when you really start to control your breath and kind of tune into your breath, it just really does so many great things for you, because it has that effect on your nervous system, right? So if you are feeling anxious, there's a breath that you can do that will bring you, a little bit more ease and into your parasympathetic, nervous system. So the first thing that I wanted to do was a breath work, and it's called box breathing. It's called 4-4-4-4. So what I want you to do is I want you to just think of a box, and then at the top of the box is your inhale. The side going down is when you hold the breath in, and then at the very bottom is your exhale. And then you're going to hold that going up again. Okay. So we're going to do a simple breathing. We're going to do that simple breathing exercise. So if you like, you can close your eyes, or you can keep your eyes open and just take a couple of deep breaths without really controlling your breath or anything. So now on your next inhale, I want you to inhale and count in your mind for up to 4, 1 to 4. And then for 4, you're going to hold that breath, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to exhale slowly through your mouth for 4 seconds. And then when you get to 4, you're going to hold it again for 4 seconds. And then we're just going to repeat this on your own, because somebody might be at a different, inhale or exhale at different times. So in your own thoughts, in your own mind, just keep breathing in through your nose and exhaling out. And as you breathe, remind yourself, I am here. I am enough. I am worthy. And even if you would like to continue saying those things in your mind as you're breathing in and then breathing out. Good. And then one more last time as you start on the inhale and the hold, and then the exhale and the hold. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and just take some cleansing breaths in and out. So how did that feel for everyone? Has anybody ever, is that the first time that anybody has ever done the box breathing before? No, everybody's done it. It's probably one of the ones, that and 3, I like doing like chest breathing, belly breathing. That's another popular one, right? Um, so I do love that one. So, another simple self-care tool is tapping. So I don't know if anybody has ever tapped before. It's a gentle way to release stress and, affirm your worth, right? So you're going to follow along. So we're going to begin by your collarbone, and we're just going to kind of stay here tonight just for the purpose of you kind of feeling, you know, the actual physical tapping that you're creating in your chest and in your body, getting your nervous system. And sometimes when you do this also too, like when I do tap on my own, I will go, just to kind of get my vagus nerve a little bit fired up too, because your vagus nerve is, connected all the way into your gut. So begin tapping and repeat after me to yourself. I am enough just as I am. I give myself permission to rest. I am worthy of love and kindness. And then just repeat that again. I am enough just as I am. I give myself permission to rest. I am worthy of love and kindness. And then take a nice deep breath in and then slowly exhale out. And one more time, take a nice deep breath in and slowly exhale out. And then just release your hands down. Keep your eyes closed and notice how just a small moment of care can shift your energy and how your body feels in this moment. So self-care isn't about waiting until we have time. It's about making small moments for ourselves each day, right? So those are just another couple of things that you can apply every day, throughout the day whenever you need it, right? Self-care isn't about doing more. It's about being present with yourself. So that kind of like, I love that because, when I think about being present, sometimes I have a really difficult time doing that. And because of the hustle and the bustle of everyday life, right? We kind of go through life and, it's really, it just kind of the day goes by and you're like, what did I even do today? Like I did, so many things. So, I have to remind myself when 19 years ago, when I was pregnant with my son, who's my first, I was on bed rest for 6 months. And so I don't know if anybody has ever experienced that before, but like I went into depression. Like not only were my hormones all over the place, but, I literally could not get out of bed. I had to have but my husband worked and my grandmother had to come and take care of me. So she sat with me every day in the living room. My bed, we had to bring the bed down in the living room at the time. So anyway, the only time that I was able to get up and leave was to go to the doctor, right? So I remember days where like after months of being or weeks being in bed, I would leave and then I would just like look up at the sky and be like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Like I really never realized how beautiful things were in the sky. And then they cut down a tree and I didn't even realize it. And I said to my husband, did they cut down that tree? Like, what's missing over there? You know? So it just kind of reminds you, I always go back to that because, yeah, you're connecting to like right now, like, and that, your senses, what am I tasting? What am I hearing? What am I seeing? What am I smelling? That definitely will, help you in those moments. So, and that's what they are. They're really, really small moments about being present and reminding ourselves that, of the truth, right? We are enough, right? So at some point we must, stop chasing the idea that we need to do more, be more, or prove our worth. Trust self-care is about embracing ourselves as we are, flaws and all, and understanding that our value is not up for debate, right? I love this quote from Maya Angelou. She once said, "You alone are enough. You have nothing to prove to anybody." Because sometimes that's, we walk around and things that we do are trying to make other people happy. And really, it's about us trying to make ourselves happy, right? So as you walk away tonight, I hope that you carry this truth with you. You are not defined by your productivity, your past, your expectations of others. You are enough just as you are in this moment, and that is more than enough. So at the end of the day, self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary. When you embrace self-acceptance, show yourself compassion, take care of your mind and body, and set healthy boundaries, you begin to realize that you don't have to prove your worth to anyone. You already have it. So the next time self-doubt creeps in, or you feel like you need to do more to be enough, I want you to pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that you are already full, you are already worthy, and you're already enough as you are. So I went through everything that I kind of wanted to bring forth. I know it was a little fast, but I didn't want to take all of your night up. But just to kind of open it, if you guys have any questions about anything, any topic, anything that we did, talked about, or anything about what I do, you can do that now. Any questions, comments? No? Did everybody like the tapping and the box breathing, even though you probably have done that before, right? It was not new to you. So I just hope that, I know you got you're taking with her, or what happened? Let me see. Can you hear me? You froze. I froze. You froze. All you guys froze. Can you hear me or no? Oh, because I can't hear you. No. It's your
Because we're muted.
oh, there you go. You're like, yeah, I can hear you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I froze, and then it was weird because then let me do the gallery again so I can see everybody. Yeah, you guys froze, and then I lost you, and then I came back. So, but anyway, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, you guys can reach out to me. Thank you.